So my name is Tanya. That's the only thing you may need to remember. And I'm glad to be here. It's a great conference. Did anyone went to workshops yesterday? Yeah. So I'm really thankful for the fact that we're getting some practical knowledge that we can implement. So today, did anyone went to the product samurai stuff? The kimonos? No? Yeah? Okay, so I was able to tie my belt correctly today, so that was the good thing to have. Okay, so today I'll talk to you about the improvement of the process of decision making, which is something that Melissa standed like a very good ground on. So she told about the strategy, the process, and the organization. And I'll tell you a story of how we did like the process part in PandaDoc. So I work as a product manager at PandaDoc. Anyone heard of PandaDoc before? No? No? No one? Okay. So PandaDoc is a B2B instrument for sales document automation. And we have around 160 people in 2 offices in the United States and in Belarus. Anyone heard about Belarus? Belarus? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. So we have like these 2 offices, and our founders are initially from Belarus, and they built a product there, and then they went to the United States, and they just had some investment coming into the company, and we get around 20 million in investment as of the moment. We're on the Series B level, and we have around 10K customers, so we're like growing year on year. So we have to grow, we have to tell our investors we're doing the good thing. Okay, so how did I get here? I was super happy and surprised when I got accepted to Productized, and then I got a PandaDoc from Andre, and I was like, wow, that's probably the reason I get in. Okay, so they're our customers. I'm like, okay, good. So this is how our product looks like. So if you need some document that you need to send to someone, and to get it signed or to get it completed, you can do that. So Andre sent me like a contract for a speaker, and I was super happy to see that they were a customer. Okay, so I was working as a product manager for about 7 years up till now, and my last year I have spent in PandaDoc, and I was in charge of several projects. I'm super happy to talk about onboarding later if you talk to me, and I'm also responsible for the feature area that is called workflow. And the project that we'll talk today is about how I helped to build decision-making process in PandaDoc. And like this was really like a challenge. That's why I'll tell you the story. So like the situation we had in June 2017, I just joined PandaDoc. My first day was actually a planning day for the company. We decided what do we need to build in the next quarter. So we had a product team of 30 people, and we had like 4 product managers. And then we had other teams, like customer-facing teams, sales team, customer success and support team, marketing and leadership. We had 6K customers at that moment. And so what did we do at that planning day? So we got a list from our sales team of the top 10 features our sales team thinks will bring us more revenue. So we sat around and we're like, okay, well, what is the easiest to do, right? Maybe we could pick these 3. And so I got a team, and we built this feature with the team. Do you know what happened? So we successfully built it, we delivered it, but then it was adopted by around 1 or 2% of the customers. So out of these 6K customers, maybe 100 was using it to the full. I was really, really disappointed by this process, and it was also so hard to understand who needs what. Has anyone ever been in a situation like a salesperson come up and says, okay, Tanya, you need to build SSO. What's the ETA for that? I'm like, okay. ETA, oh, I hate this word. So I knew, in my gut feeling, knew that we shouldn't build it. But Why? How do I what's the most important thing a product manager should do? Do you know? Say no, say no. Okay, good. Yeah. So, well, I can say no, but, and he says, why? I'm like, okay, no idea. Well, I just feel like we shouldn't do that. It's too long to develop. Well, usually the argument, it's too long to develop, it kind of makes them sane. But still, we need something else. We need some basis for our decisions and for our ability to say no to specific things and then to say yes to the right things. So again, this was really a mess. We had a product team of only 30 people, and we had the product vision ideas, we had the competitors' features from our marketing team, we had customers' feedback coming in from sales and success, and we had this list from our sales team of features to retain or to get big customers. And then there was real customers' feedback. It was somewhere out there, but we didn't know what our customers actually wanted. In addition to that, we had technical debt. Who has technical debt in their product? Okay. Yeah, of course, technical debt. The head of engineering coming in and saying, we should spend 3 months on refactoring our core platform. We need to split it into microservices. Okay. Splitting into microservices is literally one of the things that, when you say that, all product managers, they just hide and go to drink. So, and then we had bugs. Evidently, people were writing to support. They were saying we have a lot of issues in the product, and they were trying to use the product, but it was crashing. The mobile app was crashing all the time, push notifications not working, everything. This inflow of stuff was coming in, and how do we organize it into something sane? So we sat down together with our product managers team at the moment. Oh yeah, one more thing. So how do we collect customer feedback? So we had a Slack channel that you would post a piece of feedback, maybe a link to the original context of stuff. But the thing is, this customer feedback, it didn't save the person with whom from whom it came from. So we were, even if we would implement the exact expiration date, we wouldn't be able to get back to the person who originally requested it. So we kind of collected this information into a thing called Wiseline. Anyone heard of Wiseline? Oh yeah, I see a hand there. So it's a tool that has the right concept, again, behind it. So it collects, you can collect information there, and you can collect it into features, and you can build those beautiful Gantt chart roadmaps there to communicate with your team. But the issue with Wiseline was that when I actually tried to sit down and I tried to organize this feedback into problem areas, into features, it was so inconvenient to do. I had 2,000 pieces of user feedback, of unprocessed stuff. I'm oh my God, I'm going to spend my life here just sitting and merging these things. This is just not working. So we sat together with a team of our product managers, and we mapped out the ideal process for how do we want to make decisions on what to build and what not to build. That's more important. So we wanted one place to have all these ideas, insights, customer feedback coming in. Then we want to organize it, get together, see the trends, see the patterns of what's the most important. And then we would have this list of stuff, a hypothesis backlog, that we would additionally score against our product vision, against our leadership goals. And then we would pick some of the top things, maybe 1 or 2, not that much, for additional validation with our customers. what's really the problem that's staying behind the fact that they want to share a link to a document instead of sending it through our platform? Like, what's the reason? And we would go into an interview with the customers, find out the roots of the problem, and try to build a solution on top of that. We also wanted to stop shipping like those big, monstrous solutions for features that we would spend like 3-6 months on. That was the situation, and that was really hard, because we would spend 3-6 months on a feature, and then we roll it out, and then it's not adopted well, and we don't do anything with it. So we wanted to have like a gradual rollout. We wanted to have like a minimal amount of stuff needed for some improvement, and then we would measure the performance of it. And then we would iterate. And if something is not going on, well, we can drop it and go to the next thing. That's okay. So my first step was, well, actually this anger at Wiseline. I'm sorry, guys. I hope that no one is here from that company. This was a really hard experience for me, and I thought we needed another tool. So I did a research for like every tool they had for product management at the market at the moment. Anyone heard of aha.io? Aha.io, okay, lots of people. Receptive? No? Okay, one person, nice. User voice, okay. Prodpad? Not that much. Well, yeah, so I looked at all of these tools. I created a spreadsheet. I compared like all the criteria that we needed from a tool. But then like my heart still lied with Product Board. Anyone heard of Product Board? Okay. The good thing, they didn't pay me for like this talk, like at all. So it's not an advertisement, but like we went with Product Board. And like my 3 main criteria why I chose it was that it had this nice user experience of where you could like process a big amount of like insights and feedback and connect it to each other into problem areas or features, and that it had very friendly customer support, and then the price for it wasn't much bigger than for Wiseline. So at the moment, I was a product manager in a company of 160 people, and I decided we needed a new tool that would actually make all these 160 people submit feedback into it. What could go wrong? So, well, first I knew like I had to like export all the stuff from Wiseline, import it into Product Board. I did that. That was quite hard, but the harder point was the next part. How do you think? What was the next thing I did? So, no, okay. So I needed to get team support. So out of this 160 people, okay, some people were developers, they wouldn't submit feedback, but most of the feedback from customers was coming from sales and success teams. And so I had to like ask all these people to drop like their old way of doing that, of submitting insights through Slack, and to use the new tool. This was really hard. I was in Belarus, and most of the people were in the United States. So, like, I needed someone on the other side to help me, and I found like an ally on the other side of the ocean. And so Margie helped me to like introduce this process and to train people, and we created like a huge wiki page. I recorded the videos on how to use it, although like for me it was the simplest thing possible. You install the extension, and then you submit the things that you want us to do. But like it didn't went that well. So people were still submitting feedback through the old way through Slack, and I was like saying, okay, you should do it in the new way. I should have probably like thought of doing like making it possible to do through Slack, and so we have that at the moment. But at that time, I thought that well, we are making better thing for them. They should use the extension. We're like trying to get everyone organized, but like the support for the team of like trying to align everyone to use the new thing, it was really, really hard. And if I read a book on change management, anyone read anything on change management? Okay. So if I read anything on change management, I would be like more ready to anticipate this like resistance and be ready for it, but I wasn't ready at the moment. So it took like quite a long time to deploy the whole process. So I started the research in July, and then in October we had the process deployed for the whole company, and we also additionally installed Idea Portal for our customers, so that our customers could directly submit their ideas to the Idea Portal and vote for the things that we put there. To make it directly for them. And so in the end, so now it's again November, and we have around 650 insights coming each month from all these different sources, from our customer success, sales teams, from within the product, from the customers directly, from Slack, again, from the interviews that our product managers are doing with the customers. And so all of it gets together into one place, and we started to get some really, really nice insights popping up. So we thought we wouldn't get clear winners of what people are bothered with, but we found out that people really tended to lean to a couple of things that were the most painful, and we started to build them. We started to build the things, and we started to ship the things, and the surprise thing is they got adopted much quicker than the things that we shipped before, which was great. Another thing is, like I said, it became much easier to say no to some people. So if they asked, I don't know, can we build the snoozing button for reminders in case someone forgot to click it, I would say, well, sorry, Jeff, this is a very rare request. We don't get any information about that in product board, so please submit if you face it more often. And they're say, so no ETA? No? I say, no. And he's like, okay. Yay. Oh, I did it. In addition, our company did a very good job. So our leadership team from top, they started to work on the vision, the mission, strategy, goals. We use OKRs right now. Anyone knows what's OKR? Okay, nice. I would be happy to talk again about how do you do this, because we're in the very beginning of the process. But the good thing is, so we prepared from the bottom up with all this data-driven research, customer thing, feedback stuff. And the company also responded with the fact that we were now tracking some kind of business metrics that we want to improve. And so the only thing our product managers get is the vision from the company that we should improve this metric. And you decide, how do you do it? And that's so cool. How did we handle the technical debt and bugs problem? So at some moment of time, we just decided that we will ship less features. Oh, that's okay. And we decided we would allocate 20% of time on technical debt and 20% of time to bugs. So it's not strict, so we're not saying just this and this. But at least the fact that we agreed upon something, it made a great progress, and it made peace with our QA department and with our engineers, who are now happy to have some time to do the refactoring and to split the monolith into microservices. Okay. How did we handle the fact that we still had big contracts? And sometimes it wasn't even to get the contract, but to retain the customer. And we decided we would just, well, since we have 15 million investment, we can afford a fast-track team. So a fast-track team is just 2 developers, led by a product manager who accept, again, this request from salespeople. And they consult with our system, seeing how often this feature is requested by someone else. At least now they know. And they build these things for the big customers. So that's it. Very similar. Scoring. In addition to the things being more or less popular from our user requests, we use the scoring system. Anyone uses scoring? Scoring? No? Feature scoring? No? Okay, come on. Okay. Anyone heard of RISE? RISE by Intercom? Yeah, okay. So we introduced our own variation of RISE just a couple more criteria to add to the fact that like the feature is highly requested by the customers. And so when we, once before each planning day, we gather together with product managers, we'll look at this top of stuff, and then we add some scores according to our scoring mechanism, and then we pick the best things to develop. And then we also have roadmap, which doesn't look like a Gantt chart. Never did, but at least we have like, each product team has 2 or 3 features they develop maybe a month, so that's not that much. All other small things we just don't include here. We only include here like interesting information for our sales and success team that they can like tell their customers and be able to show them. So now it's October, actually it's November, okay? We have a product team of 80, so we scaled quite a lot. We have 8 product managers, and we have 11K customers, so we grew. That's a good thing. And now all of this feedback, all of these insights from marketing, support success, customers directly, sales team is coming into one place. We like organize it there, we filter, we score it, and each quarter we know what do we build next. So our decision-making process looks almost perfect from what we have thought of. So we also like validate these ideas that coming up closer to the top of the backlog. We use we show prototypes with the customers. We discuss just the problems that they have on interviews. And then when we roll out, we do the gradual rollout with split.io. And we measure the features with the analytics and how they're adopted. And we take a lot of care about how people are really using the product. And we also record user sessions with full story. So we're like looking at how people are using the new things, are they adopting it? And so sometimes we iterate, sometimes we don't. Okay, basically that's it. So again, like things to take away. To build like a nice decision-making process in a big organization, it will be like, probably will be a hard job. It's a good thing to have like a basis of making decisions, and if you say no to someone, you will be able to base it on something if you at least have all of these things organized in one place. As a result, again, PandaDoc became a much customer-centric company. We started to ship things that are really requested by our customers, or we are fixing the pains that our customers are reporting about, and this makes them happier, and this makes us a better company as well. I'll be happy to talk to you later, today, tomorrow, and answer your questions. I'm so happy to find out how different companies work and operate, because it's so much different, and at the end of the day, we solve the same problems. So it's a good thing we're all here, and we can share the experience. And again, I'll be happy to talk to you afterwards, and I have some Panda stickers.